Hey, internet. So I lost my job recently. Not because I was bad at working, but well, actually, no, it was because I was bad at working, but that's because I became, disabled this year. So it's actually really frustrating because I used to work in a job that was very remote friendly. But I couldn't even manage doing the remote work because of all of my mental impairments. And then I became physically disabled too this year. And that just kind of was the straw that broke the camel's back. On paper, I wasn't laid off because of that, but I was the only one that was laid off. Come on, let's be real here. I know what happened. We all know what happened here. But yeah, I wanted to make this video because I think this is something that, or this topic is something that a lot of disabled people, especially people who become disabled as adults, come to be familiar with. The feeling of having your life taken away from you, having your worth, I guess, in a lot of ways be taken away from you because we live in a society where your worth is based on how much income you can make, among other things. And yeah, I spent most of my life believing in that. And I spent, all of my childhood growing up, getting ready to do a job. And then I went to college, got a degree in a field, in a technical field, made money off of that. I worked a job in that field for 4 years, and now I am disabled and I cannot work right now. And that's really, really frustrating actually, because I was really, really kind of enjoying my life, right? Like I was actually making a decent amount of money, especially after growing up in poverty, basically. And I, I was living a good life. I was, I had, I was able to buy things. I was able to eat whatever food I wanted most of the time. And now I can't because it seems like I won't be able to go back to work. I I've been told by my uh, medical team that I probably wouldn't get better if I tried to keep working. This is from, FND, fibromyalgia, and a couple of undiagnosed conditions, but my primary care and outpatient physical therapist thought I had like EDS and POTS and stuff. And, pushing those back into remission is probably going to be a whole job unto itself, which I am, let's say, not looking forward to. Well, I'm looking forward to the results, but I'm not really ready to put in the work on that yet. But, having a day job is probably not going to be possible during that time. I'm moving back in with my parents. It's, kind of embarrassing to say at the age of 27, where, I'm supposed to be going out and living my life. But, the dream that I was promised back in October when I left the hospital was that, oh, you'll get better in a week. The FND will only last a week. Did not happen. So here I am with my legs that only sort of work, still having a lot of chronic pain and other stuff. Those are relatively manageable in comparison to the FND. I'm still dealing with a lot of, like leg issues, like my lower body is just very weak, have difficulty walking and other stuff, still get seizures, fainting, lots of tremoring and twitching and other stuff, and doing my best to hide my tics as usual. And yeah, I'm just trying to live my life, and I'm getting ready to move back in with my parents. Look out for a video on that, by the way. And that's going to be just fine, I guess. I'll live with my parents. They'll probably feed me and help me out. I'm not going to be able to live with my partner, though my partner is allowed to live in my parents' house for, most of the time, I think. But, like living on my own with my partner was something that I really wanted to do. And I had that dream for a little while, but, things like owning a car or owning a house are kind of not on the cards right now, basically. And that kind of sucks. Yeah, I don't know. I'm in a situation where I, have to choose between paying for my health insurance or being able to pay rent. And that's not really a good situation. I'm lucky that my parents have since, turned around on, wanting to be nice to me, I guess. I didn't have a good relationship with them when I was a kid. They were very strict, but they've since mellowed out. Honestly, radicalized by fan fiction. I might explain that in a different video at some point, but yeah, they are good people now, and I do trust them to help me. It's just, again, I'm 27, they're both about 70, and I feel really bad that I have to move back in with them, and that, you know, my elderly parents have to help me out because I can't function without a wheelchair. And that is just so deeply frustrating to me. To be honest, it's not much better now. My partner is basically helping me take care of myself. My partner is also unemployed right now and can't look for a job because she's trying to take care of me. The situation is not necessarily the best one. Yeah, it's just overwhelming, to be honest. I was kind of hoping that I'd be able to hold out at this job a little bit longer, at least through next year, but that was not what happened. So I lost my job, not necessarily on the best terms. You know, became physically disabled this year. I have to move back in with my parents. It was really overwhelming and really bad for my mental health. And if I'm being completely honest, I attempted to remove myself from this world earlier this month. And then I spent 7 days in a mental hospital. And that was fine, actually. They fixed me. I got my medications. I was able to kind of touch grass and talk to people and stuff. And, you know, I learned that becoming disabled isn't the end of the world. You know, as much as I, on this YouTube channel, have been kind of positive about it, it's not rainbows and sausages. It's actually pretty bad a lot of the time. What you're seeing is just the good stuff. And yeah, I'm hoping that things will get better. I probably will be continuing to make YouTube videos just, you know, as a hobby, keep my hands busy, but there's no way I can, like, you know, make this a full-time job, I'm sure. I've just been kind of feeling a little hopeless. Hopeless kind of translates to I just need new hobbies, I'm sure, but I've been feeling lonely because none of my friends, well, actually that's not true. So I have very few friends that are going through the things that I'm going through. So I'm, you know, reaching out to those friends that I know are, and I'm doing my best to keep up my social life as much as I can, you know, given my circumstances, trying to touch grass, trying to avoid, you know, trying to avoid being alone and, you know, letting my thoughts spiral. Yeah, that's kind of how things are right now. I wish things were better. I hope that things do get better for me. I hope that, you know, if you've gone through something similar, that you felt less alone, you know, if you were listening to me. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to end this one. This is kind of a depressing video for me. Wow, I'm so sorry. Like and subscribe. I am probably gonna be, you know, much more upbeat and chipper for other stuff. And yeah, I hope that things get better for all of us. That's all. Bye. Okay. All right. Okay. How do I make sure that I am framed correctly? Okay. Don't take too much. If I take too much, I'm gonna start having trouble again.